Counselors Salazar and Valdez, can you hear me okay? Counselor Salazar and Valdez, can you hear us okay?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I can hear you too. Thank you.
Good evening. Yes, I could hear you as well.
Okay, I can hear you too. Thank you.
Thanks.
Ask you for your light.
Beam
to shine
has
in every
started.
darkest area.
It says on, off, and I'm not sure.
In the name of Jesus, amen. Could we do a determination of a quorum, please?
Counselor Dennis Tim Salazar,
Present.
Counselor Denise Benavides,
Present.
Counselor Didi Valdez,
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Peggy Sue Martinez.
I'm here in the flesh. I want to thank my fellow counselors and the staff for being here this evening. I know it's a long day, and we appreciate you guys and your efforts to get through this agenda. First issue on the agenda is approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
Motion to approve.
Thank you,
Second.
Counselor. We have a motion from Dennis Tim Salazar to approve the agenda and a second from Didi Valdez to second the approval of the agenda. Any discussion on the agenda? Hearing none, we'll call for a vote. All in favor of approval of the agenda signifying by saying yay.
Yay.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. We have an agenda, unanimous decision. Do we have anybody signed up for public comment?
Bethany Bratley,
Miss Bethany Bratley.
Good evening.
Good evening.
When did we start doing invocation here? We've never done it before.
I'm going to
so-
tell you what happened. Well, go ahead, I'm not.
Yeah, I enjoyed coming to these. So a few things I wanted to thank, I already did earlier, thank the chief of police for helping me reach out to Santa Clara. And we actually, yesterday on my day off while I was in back, saw them actually pull up, and they went back there, and there was about 20 people back there having a tent city. So they removed them, and they're going to keep a good patrol over there now. That's something that finally got resolved. And then we've been getting a little bit more traffic now that it's warmer in the area, and luckily the chief is going to have them do a little bit extra patrol in through our trailer park now at night. So that'll be good. I know I've been sending you some screenshots of what I've been seeing, because I really want to work on getting these laws, like in action. I'm so tired of seeing puppies for sale all over Facebook who aren't even of age. One of the people that works at the shelter actually went and picked up 2 of those puppies, and they were 3 weeks old, being taken away from their mother. That is so young. So this is a big issue that seems to be going on here lately with the shelter receives at least 5 to 6 animals on a daily basis. And that, when I say animals, that could include a whole litter of like 10 kittens, which has been happening over the last 3 days. So people need to be reminded that Espanola Humane has a free spay-neuter clinic. Again, it has a free spay-neuter clinic. If you can't make an appointment online, pick up the phone and call the clinic, and they will schedule it with you. Also, for anybody who doesn't know, the shelter actually received, in the Santa Fe Reporter, received the 2023 #1 spot for non-for-profit organizations, which they were against a lot of good non-for-profits, but they know what we do on a daily basis. Again, I'm inviting the whole city council to come take a tour, to come volunteer for the day, so you can see what they literally do on a daily basis. They work their butts off. And if the city would like to, they'd love pizza. Wink, wink, nod, nod. That's all I got.
Thank you very much. Anybody else signed up for public comment?
Ms. Jeanette Archuleta.
I'm fine with you doing it now or me yielding to you. Either way, it doesn't really matter. I think it's important to give you the opportunity, so we're fine with you under public, sure.
Good evening.
Good evening, how are you?
I'm fine, how are you?
I'm well, thank you.
How's everyone? It's good to see everyone. Thank you for the time. Hello, Counselor Valdez and Counselor Salazar. I'm here
Good
to...
evening.
I'm sorry?
You said good evening.
Oh, good evening,
Counselor
Dee Dee.
Benavides is also online.
Oh, hello, Counselor Benavides. So what I want to talk about tonight is a drug prevention program. And probably most of you are aware of Project RACE, which is no longer being funded. So what I'm proposing to the council, to this committee, is just to put something on our radar, and that is a drug prevention program. And basically what that would do is, and I started this last year with Project RACE, and we were not getting into all of the schools. In order for us to make a difference in our community, we need to throw out a broad net. We need to have a blanket around our kids, and we need to sustain that effort over time. So we're not talking about providing a program to students in an after-school program or one grade level, and then they get immersed into middle school where they have all the kids from all the different communities. So what I started doing last year was through an MOU with the schools, and they are very much in favor of this, but this would be Espanola schools as well as McCurdy School. And so what they've agreed to do is to have the classroom teachers present to the students a life skill, research-based curriculum. So it would be the teachers or it would be the counselors that are providing these lessons. So one of the measurements that I would do in Project RACE was how many lessons went out every year. So the year before, the number of lessons that went out through the old model of Project RACE was 970. With utilizing all of the classroom teachers, or some classroom teachers, some counselors, the number of lessons we had last year was over 5,000 lessons. And that's just even with us getting a late start. I mean, I wasn't able to get all that curriculum, get it out to the schools, you know, so they were doing it the second semester. So that's one thing that I hope that we can consider using the opioid settlement monies for. And if the document I have is correct, it does, and it's G number 8, funding evidence-based prevention programs in schools or evidence-informed school and community education programs for students, families, school employees, and on and on. So I'm really hoping that it will be eligible for these funds.
It sounds like it is.
I'm sorry?
It sounds like it is.
Yeah, I believe it is, and I've got a couple of the other descriptors that I believe it falls under regarding allowable expenses. So beyond the curriculum and getting this out, so last year we did 4th grade, 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, and we got to like 90% of those students. 90% of those students. So this year I really hope we can roll it out to the high school and then also to the parents. So they do have materials in Spanish, so I'm prepared to order, materials for all the schools. That's 14 schools. So they would do that through their parent-teacher conference, through their PAC meetings. The other thing we did besides the curriculum, or that I'm proposing, is that we do community awareness. So I brought some pamphlets, but you guys probably already have them. Those of you on the phone, it's the Drug Enforcement Administration, Drugs of Abuse, but this is the latest edition. It's 2022. So last year when I was doing Project Race, I would put piles of these there at the main lobby of City Hall. They were gone. The public just helped themselves, and and I had a sign for them, but they helped themselves, and they were a hot ticket. And then we also have just little pamphlets. So the principals agreed to, and I would visit with every principal. Principals agreed to put them out there for open house or send them home with the kids or just different things like that. So a big push for community awareness. And then the other part that really helps, and it's not anything that I believe the drug prevention program needs to do, because the city already has it in place, and it's an amazing thing. It's the mentorship program through the help office, the partnership with the help office. So through that, students are really getting a pipeline from school to work or school to career. So those three pieces, I think, would really give us a robust program, drug prevention program. What's important is that we reach 100% of the students and that we sustain it over time. So that's...
In the program, you're basically training the teachers with the curriculum that this entity will purchase.
Correct. Okay, so this is the Botvin curriculum, and so it is evidence-based. There's research already done on it, and they also have training modules. So it's online training, and so we offer to the schools this training. I've gone through the training. I've seen a lot of classrooms and a lot of teachers, and it's a very straightforward program. So for this last year, I left it up to the principals if they wanted the teacher to go through training or not.
What's the program called?
It's called Botvin Life Skills, and I have some. I brought the 7th grade, I brought the 5th grade, the 6th grade, and the 7th grade, just so you all could see it.
Does anybody, any other counselors have any questions for Miss Jeanette?
Just a comment. I liked Project Race when I was a principal at Velarde Elementary. We used to have them go, and the students really engaged with the employees. And yeah, I'm for it. I hope it does cover it under the monies you are requesting from.
Counselor Dennis Tim Salazar?
I have nothing at this time. Just want to thank Ms. Jeanette for coming to their committee meeting and, of course, discussing this. And good to see you again, Jeanette.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Salazar.
Counselor Benavides?
Sorry about that. I was on mute. Nothing at this time. Just great to see Jeanette, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
So I'm opening the book, and it just talks about recording the progress of the student, and it has an opportunity to record what they're doing, what the goal is, and the date they achieve the goal. Then it goes into different everyday discussions and everyday decisions on my own, by parents, with friends, with teachers, by media. It talks about decisions at home, at school, with friends. Just a real simple, good, solid curriculum. There's a page here, my reasons for not smoking, different things. I really like this. I really, really do. So I know that you reached 5,000 plus lessons last year. Mm-hmm. What is the estimate by serving all the schools and having every teacher and every counselor trained? What is the estimate of the amount of lessons that will be worked on this year?
Okay, so within the Valley, we have each grade level has about 250 students. So 250 students, and we're doing, well, at this point, like for this next year, I'd like to do grades 4 through 11. So that's 1,750 students. My hope is that next year that we would include kindergarten through 3rd grade on, in a bullying in a
Anti-bullying campaign.
bullying curriculum. So yeah, so 17, and then just to let you know, like the 4th, 5th, 6th graders, they have about 8 lessons in their curriculum, but then when you get to 7th grade and 8th grade, they have about 13. So it would be a little bit, would anybody have their calculator?
I do.
Okay, so if
13
you wanna-
lessons times 250,
What's that?
250 students at 13 lessons each,
Yes.
250 times, what did we say, 13 lessons? That's 3,200 lessons in
Okay, so
in
that's
one
only
grade
the
level.
7th grade.
Yeah.
And then let's say that's the 8th grade also and the 9th grade. So then if you multiply that times 1, 2, 3, 4,
It's about 12,000.
okay, and then that's even not counting the 4th, 5th, 6th. So 4th, 5th,
So about
6th, they have 8.
15,000 lessons easily. So we'll be tripling the bang that we're getting. I like this for the reason being that I really love Red Ribbon Week. Everybody that knows me knows I've always been involved in activities during Red Ribbon Week because I feel like it's one of the most important things we do for the students here in Espanola. But I don't feel that a week is enough to really put a dent into the kind of pressure that these kids are feeling on a daily basis throughout the year. 1 week is not going to cut it.
Correct.
So we need to be red ribboning them weekly, daily, if we can, just reminding them.
Correct, and what's important about this model is that it would be the classroom teachers or the counselors implementing the program. And research tells us that the classroom teacher has the greatest impact on student learning
Oh, yeah.
and student behavior.
Oh, yeah.
So then it could be a different place, the same day, a different lesson, and the
Right.
teacher could make ties to what this curriculum is. So it would just be broad.
Are we including any of the charters, any of the private schools, McCurdy,
Okay,
Holy Cross?
Right, so we've included McCurdy, and so this last year they were on board. I contacted Holy Cross and we just couldn't make contact together. They were changing administrators. I contacted the other one, the Victory Faith, and couldn't make contact with them or get a meeting with them, basically.
So, the only other group that I could see that might benefit that isn't in that group are maybe some of the homeschoolers that are around. I don't know how many are there now, but, you know, I'm a homeschool parent myself. I would have loved to have
Oh,
had
the
this opportunity
Oh,
to have at it. So I feel like if we can expose this curriculum to any student in this valley, I don't care what school they're in or how they're getting educated, I feel like we should try and push it on everybody that we can push it on.
and if we sustain it over time, I mean, we're really going to see some differences in behavior. Just to let you know, this is research-based, so there was an 87% reduction in the use of tobacco, 67% reduction in the use of alcohol, 75% reduction in the use of marijuana, methamphetamine, a 68% reduction, but it's also violence and delinquency intervention as well. So physical aggression was down 30%, verbal aggression was down 42%, delinquency down 40%, and fighting down 40%.
Wow.
So when you think about that and then what these gentlemen deal with, you know, on a daily, hourly basis, I mean, if we could get our community really on board with this and just, you know, and just, like I said, sustain it over time, reach as many of our young people as we can.
I love what you're doing, Jeanette, and I really think it's important that we stick with the same company for the curriculum for the next year and the next year, because I feel like it builds on itself, and the
Correct.
students will take up the next year where they left off the last year. And I think that they'll start to understand, like when they see the book, they'll say, oh, I know what this is about. You know what I mean?
Right.
They'll already have it in their heads that they know what's going on with that. I really feel like this council should hustle behind this whole initiative, and it's a good investment on the opioid money, and I feel like education is a part of what's allowable, and I feel that it's very important and we should support these types of ideas. I thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
what you're doing. I'm gonna return these to you even though I don't want to.
No, I need.
I want to see you back as soon as possible, and I would recommend that you get on a full council agenda so that every counselor in the city of Espanola understands what's going on with the program and what it's gonna look like.
Absolutely, I'll arrange that.
Okay, thank you
you.
so much. I appreciate your time. Okay, moving on, we're gonna go ahead and go to counselor comments. Counselor Didi Valdez?
I have none at the moment.
Thank you, Counselor. Counselor Dennis Tim Salazar?
Thank you, Madam Pro Tem. I don't have anything at this time either. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you for attending the meeting. Counselor Denise Benavides?
Nothing either, Chair.
There are no items at this time for approval to full council, so we'll just go on to department reports. We'll start with the fire department. Mr. John Martinez, Fire Chief, and DC Wickersham. Oh yay, oh yay. Oh yay. So, proposed Espanola Fire Training Facility blueprints. I have to tell you, I'm very excited. Go ahead.
Floor to my assistant. So for the month of June, we ran a total of 258 calls. And for July, when I printed this report, we still lacked a week. We're at 198 calls. So for the year, we've running a total of 1,517 calls for half a year. So I'm expecting to probably head over three. Madam Pro Tem, interim city manager, and the mayor, you guys did a walkthrough on our La Jolla Fire Station. I mean, if you look at it from the outside, it just looks like a little box and stuff like that. But when you go inside, I mean, when we finish this station and have our grand opening and stuff, our citizens, everybody is going to be amazed with when this project should have been done long time ago.
Read.
And when we first started doing this project, we were getting a lot of, how can it say, tension back and forth and stuff. And then it took off, and look where we're at with this project. Over to John Wickersham.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Chief. Mayor Pro Tem, Acting City Manager, members of the committee, thank you for having me. So I'll get into that update with active shooter training. That went really good. It was awesome. Last week, we actually sent a group up to Los Alamos for the Hazmat Challenge. It's their annual Hazmat Challenge. I actually want to bring up President. So if you want to come up, Swazo, and just show them what you guys got. We sent five firefighters up. A lot of them were rookies. We're really short-handed on the line. So we sent up, I believe, 3 of our rookies and then 2 seasoned veterans up to this Hazmat Challenge. This is a great experience.
So good evening, Honorable Mayor Pro Tem, Interim City Manager, and members of the committee. So like Assistant Chief Wickersham was saying, we kind of went to this Hazmat Challenge, which was a great experience on my part. It's the first time that I ever done this. We did have a lot of rookies, but I think to them, they learned a lot as well. We had a lot of teams, so there was about a total of 8 teams that competed. Men Fire Department out of Oklahoma, Los Alamos Fire Department, Santa Fe, us, and the laboratories as well. So it was really great because a lot of these guys got a lot of experience about hazardous materials. So it's hard to be a hazmat tech. You know, it's a lot of education, a lot of training to actually learn how to do a lot of like technician level stuff. And a lot of our guys are actually like below that, which is called a awareness and operations level. So they're not even close to technicians. So the first day of our training was kind of a little rough because we're new to this, you know, and we're going up against people that have done this for 10 to 15 years. But at the end of, I would say at the end of the week, we started coming as a team and we're getting really amazing scores and we're really impressing ourselves. And a lot of people looked at us like, you guys are not even technicians and you guys are actually exceeding at this kind of level, which was really great. And I'm very proud of like the whole team that we had. Marcos, who's in the back, was actually part of the team, is one of our rookies as well, year in the job. And, you know, I hope this encouraged a lot of like our rookies to actually take that step forward to becoming a technician. And, you know, maybe that's one more piece into our department where we can grow our hazmat division. So it was a really great experience. And that certificate was just, they didn't really have a prize for that, but they saw how our department really were kind of wanting to learn and get the training and also just amazing experience. So they wanted to present that to us because they saw how really persevere our team was, you know, and that was the whole concept of the hazmat challenges. They want people to really experience and get the training. And after the training, a lot of the people that work in the labs gave me their cards and say, like, if you guys ever need training, it's free. You know, we'll come down and we can help you guys with this certain, you know, whether it's training in hazmat or whatever, that they will really want to help us out. So it was a great experience.
I just want to say thank you guys. Everywhere you guys go, you guys represent the city so well. I mean, I love the energy that the rookies in this department have. I love their willingness to be on it, get on it. None of them are afraid of hard work. I love that. And it seems like they all are enjoying the job. And that is so critical because going to a job you hate is really difficult, you know. So I think as long as they have that can-do, will-do attitude and they're representing well, and I feel like if the laboratory is offering any kind of training whatsoever, that's definitely something we should not just say, oh yeah, down the road. I think you should make contact with them as soon as possible and see what's available and have our guys take some more training. And that way, when we get up there to the next hazmat challenge, we're ready to go and we're right in there with everybody else. So I just want to say thank you, Suazo, for everything that you're doing for the department, your leadership, John Wickersham and John Martinez. You know, you guys are providing these guys with the very best that they can have. And when you guys step away from this department, you're not going to leave the department lost or at failure, because every single one of these guys has had these opportunities to build and build and build on their skills as a fire person. At the end of the day, these guys can work anywhere they want to work at this point. We're grateful to God that they're here in the city of Espanola and that they want to be here. That is so awesome. So we appreciate you guys for going and representing our community the way that you have. We appreciate your leadership for sure. And I'll yield to my fellow councilors for any further comments. Councilor Didi, Councilor Denise, Councilor Dennis.
Just to reiterate what Mayor Pro Tem Martinez has said, we are so proud of you and you represent our Espanola Valley well, and I am proud of our fire department.
Thank you. Councilor Denise.
Thank you. Yes, definitely. And I want to just shout out to Rick on the color of the building. I actually like it. You were a little worried, but I really like it. I think it looks awesome. And,
so too.
you know, one of the biggest things that, you know, I can say about the fire department is not just the job that you do, but the respect that individuals have for you guys, right? Anytime you guys post something, you know, there's just so many comments and they're all just about not just the great job that you guys do, but the respect that the community has for you guys. And I think that's really, really something to be proud of. So thank you guys.
Councilor Dennis.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Yeah, I just want to say the same. Thank you guys. Keep moving forward. You guys are doing a wonderful job. And like I've said before, you guys may be a smaller fire department than other fire departments in the state, but you guys are the best in the state. So you guys keep it up, and thank you guys for all you do.
Thank you.
I also want to comment on the walkthrough that interim CM and Mayor John Ramon and myself did at the fire department. It's exactly the way we envisioned it from the beginning. I mean, you know, like Chief said, you look at it from the outside, it looks like four walls in a tin building, but once you get in there, you realize that a lot of thought went into every single area, inclusive of the ATV room, the dormitories, the bathrooms, the showers. Every single thing had thought behind it as to how better to make the staff as comfortable as possible. And at the end of the day, I mean, you guys are gonna have the best of the best in that department. And it's just the beginning for that, because then there's gonna be another one that's gonna follow after this. So as you guys progress in the department, we want you to feel supported. We want you to feel that you matter, and these are ways that we make sure to bring the best, is to have them in buildings and departments that are suitable to serve the best. So we all look forward to what you guys are doing. Like I said, you guys are amazing. You're doing an amazing job for the community, and I just can't wait for the department to be finished on La Jolla and to start working on this. So could you update us on this a little bit, John?
Yep. So I'm going to thank President Suazo again, and also thank him for this coming Saturday, 1 to 4. We teamed up with the swimming pool and Ranchitos, the aquatic center, for a backpack giveaway, free hot dogs. The fire department union donated, I believe, 30 backpacks, 25 backpacks to kids in need for that day. So it's free backpacks, free hot dogs, and free swimming. So bring your kids.
1 to 4?
1 to 4.
One
Yep.
to 4. I have 2 backpacks for you too.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you. So yeah, so that's this Saturday. So at the Ranchitos pool. Yep. So you wanted an update on the training facility?
Training facility.
So they were out there today doing the power lines, getting all that ready for the topo test survey that we should be completed here the next few weeks. And also the geotest, we should be getting that back. And as soon as we get that geotest back, we can submit it to that company that's going to do the burn building. And they can give us a floor plan or survey for the ground. And then we can go ahead and start with that building. I talked to Diego Aragon today with the governor's office, just letting him know we're about a month and a half out from La Jolla's project, and just to let him know to put the governor on our radar and to invite her to be here for the grand opening of that station. So they're going to be here for sure. The training facility, those are some preliminary drawings, some preliminary drawings of the main station as well, for up there at the Armory with the training facility and the living quarters with the 6 bays. And then kind of what we were talking about for the area up there with the landing pad, the training facility, and then the main station. That's going to be that big survey that you guys have in front of you, and then the drawings for the training or for the burn building.
So where are we at on the burn facility, on the burn stuff?
Yeah, so we should be getting the geotests back, and that's the ground study with the dirt samples and seeing how firm the dirt is and what they need to do for the ground. We should be getting that back in the next couple of weeks. As soon as we get those tests back, we'll give them to that company, and they can get us the ground, the survey for the ground to see if they need to compact it or what they need to do for the ground.
Doubt that they need to
Exactly. I don't think they need to do much.
I think when they built that other building, they basically prepared that whole area. So I don't think that it's gonna require too much as far as recompaction or anything like that.
I don't think so either.
this is the base cost of this training facility in total, 549?
But that's without the
That's a
foundation.
lot of cement, huh?
Yep, and then that doesn't include prepping the area and the fencing and the electrical and some of the other stuff that we'll probably need to do to get that ready for that building.
Okay, I think, like I've said, I feel like this training facility is very important. People ask me, well, why would we want to invest that much money in a training facility when we only have so many guys? Any of this stuff anymore. We can train on a daily. That's a big difference. You know, when you train in Silver City, you have to plan for hotel, meals, everything else, and you got to go 3 at a time or 2 at a time. And this way, I mean, when you guys are down and you guys are not busy, which is hardly ever, but when you are, you'll have an opportunity to have a training day, even on people's days off or whatever, and bring some staff in. And not only that, I feel like it's important to train our people to be able to be trainers, so that they have that certification and they can come in on the weekend and do one class for the city of Espanola, because you have people that will come in from different sectors within the state to train on this area. And they stay here, they eat here, they gas here before they leave. So all of those things are economic development for the public, for the community. And I think it's a really good thing. I think it's an investment in the power of shutting down fires throughout northern New Mexico. So I feel like this is one of the most important initiatives that the city is facing right now. I want to see this through before I'm done as a counselor. I want to make sure that this is done deal before I leave. And I just really want to thank you guys for this side and pushing on that side. And it's all been worth it, because if you look at what the La Jolla department is looking like right now, like John said, you know, there's been times where we feel like we've been kicked in the gut and it's probably not going to happen. And then something changes, and before you know it, we're right back in the hot seat, and here we go. Looking forward to the fascia going on in the front so it doesn't look so industrial. It'll make it blend better with the ambiance of that whole neighborhood. I'm looking forward to the demolishing of that house behind there, and I'm looking forward to those trees coming down and the parking lot being erected so these guys have a safe place to park their vehicles that are locked up. And it's just going to be something really good for the whole Fairview District 3, District 4 sector, and even better for the department. So like I said, Wickersham, you're a total blessing to this community. Your leadership is unmatchable, and I'm honored to work with all of you.
Thank you. For $5,000, which I think is nothing. So I'm going to get a couple more quotes, but this is the company that's going to demo the house. And so I think they demo the house and then they just do this as well, and get rid of those trees. I'm hoping.
4 trees?
This has a quote for 5. I think there's 5 trees.
5 trees?
Yep.
So one of the things that concerned us in the walkthrough for the other counselors that are online is that there was a Chinese elm within probably 10 feet of the foundation of the new fire station that concerned everybody walking through there. Sally had concerns, I had concerns, the mayor had concerns about that tree being so close to the foundation. And then we looked around and there were 4 others in the yard that were probably gonna hinder the pavement process. So that's when John was given a directive to go ahead and look for the cost of removing all those trees in total. So I think it's a good investment. I know it adds to the cost of everything that we've done thus far, but I feel like if we're gonna do it, let's do it right and let's handle it correctly, and removing those trees is part of that. So we have to do what we have to do.
Yep. And then, so I did talk to the police chief about the house. There's actually 5 weeks in August, so I'm hoping the last week in August, we can work on starting to move him out and prepare to demolish that house.
What is the estimated date for completion of the station? It looks like it's pretty damn close. Like, it's almost scary how much it's.
So the only thing that's holding us back right now is the sprinkler company. They're not moving as fast as we would like. And then the bay doors. So they ordered the wrong railing for the bay doors, so they had to reorder those. They were supposed to be here this week. I didn't see them there yesterday when I was there. But they're supposed to be here this week to do the bay doors and then the sprinkler system. That's the only thing that's going to hold us up. But I think we're on track to be done in about a month.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so.
That's pretty amazing.
They're
Oh.
taping, texturing, the sheetrock.
I was amazed at how quick that sheetrock was going in.
Yep.
You could see the whole layout of the kitchen and the living quarters and just everything that we've planned for you guys to have the best. The washing machine that's going in is industrial to wash your bunker gear. That's cost savings for the city in the long run because we don't have to contract that out anymore. Everything has been very well thought out throughout the process. We've tried to cover bases before and do this, like not over the top, but really, really well.
Yep.
And I can't wait for that floor to get stained and for it to have some color on it and it not look so industrial from the inside. I want to see what the countertops look like and the appliance. I feel like it's more homely with the sheetrock on the roof and it doesn't look so industrial also like that. So it's something that we're all going to be very, very proud of, and I hope all of you are going to be very proud to work out of there too.
Yep. Awesome.
What's the date for completion? Do you know?
I don't have one, but I'm thinking about another month.
Month?
Hold us up is the sprinkler system and the garage, the bay doors. But I think once the bay doors get there, those will get installed pretty quick. And then the sprinkler system, they've been there all week this week, so I'm pretty positive they're gonna get done within the next week or
So
two.
then they'll finish the sheetrock, frame the ceiling.
So we're gonna go ahead and concrete the front all the way to the street, for it to last a little bit longer than asphalt. If you can go to the main station, you can already see where you come out of the bay and it goes onto the asphalt. You can see where it divvies down.
Oh, we need
So
it,
we're
cement.
just gonna concrete all the way to the sidewalk. And then, that'll alleviate that problem. And then in the back, and actually the CM yeah. But yeah, we wanna get that asphalted in the back and then, fenced off and gated and a carport also, so we can protect the cars that are
Yeah.
back there.
So do you guys have blinking lights that blink?
But it's pretty expensive, and it never really went anywhere. He was supposed to get in contact. We actually met with them to do the whole lights and throughout the city.
You guys have to back out of there. It's not like I know you probably back the trucks in.
Yeah, and we turn our lights on. Anytime we're backing up, we'll turn our emergency lights on.
Yeah.
We
I
do
still
that,
think
and then
it
we
would be
always have
nice
a
to
backer.
Availability of stopping the traffic on both sides. You know what I mean?
Include
Just
the,
continue working with
Yep.
Sally until an interim is named.
yep,
I think she's doing a really good job. And there is a separation in HR because Shannon is handling the HR side and she's handling the management side. So even
Okay,
though
and
it's not the best situation, it's work. Fire department from anybody?
It just sounds like if that building is going to be amazing,
Yeah.
and I'm glad you have all those amenities because it is a home away from home for you. So
Absolutely.
congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you,
guys are
counselors.
done. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Chief. How are you, sir?
Doing well, ma'am. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem, Interim City Manager Baxter, governing body.
We can't hear the chief.
I'm so sorry, governing body, my bad. I forgot to press the button. Good evening, all, Mayor Pro Tem.
Chief, press the button.
It was bad. I was excited about my report. So I wanted to, first of all, tell you all thank you, Mayor Pro Tem, Interim City Manager, governing body. Before you, I have my report this evening, which starts off with the number of submitted reports that my department took was 172. Of those 172, probably the most significant are the recovered stolen vehicles, which, as you all know, we have a system throughout our city that addresses license plate readers. Our recovery of stolen vehicles this past month has led to the largest drug arrest bust that we've had in the city of Espanola in the last 15 years. We recovered 6,600 fentanyl pills. We recovered 13 ounces of they did. That came off of just one hit on one of our license plate readers. Back in June, we also recovered over approximately close to 7,000 pills total. So we've really been on the attack of the drug issue that we've had, and that's the result of our reorganized narcotics section. We've also hit, last month, we had 4 search warrants, and they're continuing to do that, which is nice to see. Overall, the types of calls, we had 1,515 calls for service during July. The numbers of interest, which will, of course, always interest, and I highlight these for my friend Bethany. We had 79 calls for service for our animal control officer, who maintains being busy. He's always on the call. Something I wanted to bring up with our planning and zoning is the number of alarm calls. I'd like to see how many of those are repeat. We had 49 of those. We had 61 courtesy rounds, and just as I came in, Ms. Brantley also asked me about continued courtesy calls through her area where she lives. We had more than I like motor vehicle crashes. We had a total of 45, 33 with no injuries. There was 12 with injuries. The other thing I'd like to point out is just the number of calls that we take where we have to show up. We had 189 suspicious vehicle person calls. We had 70 unwanted person calls, and we had 171 welfare checks. Those numbers are a lot more on the surface. They look as intangible because we don't necessarily make arrests. We don't have to write reports, but this is where we have community members calling in. So in those two alone, we have a little under 400 of those 1,500. So the officers stay busy. With that being said, I'd like to talk a little bit about, I know Mayor Pro Tem, you had asked me in the past, just for a quick update on our grants, on the grants for my department. I believe my department probably has the most grants in the city. I'll start off with the easy ones. The first one I want to start off with is the Law Enforcement Recruiting and Retention Fund, which is our 2023, where we receive money. And I have to say that...
DOJ grant?
No, ma'am, that was a state grant.
Okay.
A DFA grant. And I have to give the credit to our interim city manager, who submitted the report that the last day it was due was yesterday, and with very little help from me, because unfortunately I'm not versed in that area, she was able to submit the final report, so we didn't lose that money. So that was $106,000 that we did not have to revert, that we were, in essence, reimbursed for. So that, and just so you know, last week, I already put in for the FY24, the same grant, so I put in for the next one on that. The next one I want to talk about is another grant that we received from DFA. This one kind of concerns me because it's still in limbo. This committee itself and City Council twice has approved the appropriation of the $240,000. We have yet to draw down that money, so I'm not sure what the status on that is. I'm working with the director at DFA to see where that money is and how we can immediately draw it down. That's the money that we were going to use for the purchase of our police vehicles. So just before I came in, I left another message. The problem is I have to have access to specific websites, and right now, since we have no one else, I have been the one that's trying to continue to get in. So that one, it looks like I'm still going to be able to get, but it's going to take a little more work, and I'm working with the new comptroller, and I'm including the interim city manager also.
So we have different codes that we use when we're part of a grant, correct?
Yes.
For reporting purposes and stuff.
Yes.
So that's what you're talking about, that you're not privy to those codes as of yet.
I'm looking at seeing how we end up drawing the money down into our, I believe that's one of the reconciliation, and I'm learning this, and it's funny as a chief, but I'm learning that that's part of the reconciliation that's not actually in the budget yet, because it's money that hasn't been drawn down into our budget, into my budget. So that's money that we're waiting to get, which leads me,
So let me ask you what has happened with the purchases, because I know.
everything's on standby, ma'am, until we don't have the money yet. I have approval to spend the money, I just don't have the money.
That's really too bad because I actually, in my mind, thought these were ordered and they're almost here and, but it is what it is, but just keep working on it. I mean, the last thing we want to do is lose that opportunity.
Well, we did submit the PRs for the vehicles because I was also under the same impression. So we are working on that now. We'll get to it.
The vendors all know that there's an issue going on. And-
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Right.
The next one, ma'am, is, I've learned, I guess, another term when it comes to detailed ledger. Our FY '23 law enforcement LEPF funds, we received $73,000. Of that, we hadn't had an update. Luckily, I do have staff that keeps track of it. We asked for carryover back in May because we knew we're not going to be able to spend it all. So we're working on that carryover, which is approximately $25,000. I've been in contact at 4:50 today. I clarified with, I believe, Ms. Krupke, that we're going to be able to carry over that $25,000 into this year. So that's the money that we're going to use, for instance, for the purchase of $5,000 worth of stop sticks, which helps in the, stopping pursuits. So we have the money that we want to spend it for. We just have to get it back in our budget.
So you'll have almost 100,000 in your next year's budget from this single grant.
I'll have more than that, ma'am. I'll have, that leads me to what I did get for I put in for this year, this budget year, 2023, 2024. I'm getting our department, our city, 126,500. And that will start to be dispersed on September 1st. And I had a meeting, I believe, yesterday with our interim city manager as to the first purchases that we are going to be undertaking. And that money's already being spent under the criteria set by LEPF. The thing,
Make sure that those purchases are brought to this committee, forwarded to full council in a timely way so that when that date hits, you're ready to go.
yes, ma'am, we will have, and we already have those set up. So that includes the stop sticks and then the purchase of an equipment that the city manager and I have been talking about. So that handles the LEPF. I do have one grant that I know is near and dear to you, ma'am, that you've brought up a few times, which are our SAFER grants. And I made sure that we took care of that one. And I can give you, and I'll actually give you the official names. I met with the director for the New Mexico SAFER grants. We have 3 grants. The first one is the NDWI grant that has a total of $10,723. Up to this year, we've had one DWI checkpoint, and the director's going to be sending me the detailed ledger as to what we submitted on that. We also have a Buckle Up grant, which has $3,087. And then we have a STEP grant, which is $2,519. This is one that we've started working on the 2 second ones, the Buckle Up and STEP, in which we are scheduling our officers that work from 6 in the evening to 6 in the morning to come in 2 to 3 hours early to deal with the rush hour traffic, especially now that school has started. And then in the morning, if they can't come in at night, stay till 8 o'clock to deal with the rush hour traffic going to school. So we are going to be cutting into that grant significantly. We met with the director, we projected, and we should be able to go through both of those grants with no problem.
So the state runs their fiscal on a different schedule, and these amounts are till the end of October, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
October 31st.
Yes.
What we don't use, we return, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so let's try and draw that down as much as possible. Any grant money that the city is getting that is not utilizing the grant to its fullest is cheating the community out of that service. So we need to do whatever we can do to make sure that we draw down that. I'd really like to see something dealing with DUI sometime soon. I know that your staff is over inundated with so many calls and stuff. But maybe you could do something with another agency or partner up with somebody to maybe get something going on that, because it is 10 grand.
Yes, ma'am. The next one that we're looking at, ma'am, is, this is a grant, but it's something that I didn't have access to, but because it falls under a purview of something that I'm familiar with, which was our HIDA reimbursement. We are working, and I've been working with Ms. Russell, who's the finance director at the New Mexico High Intensity Drug. The problem there is reporting, so I'm going to have to come up with a reporting measure so that we can drop down the reimbursement for everything that we had paid out as a city for Project Race. I'm working on that one to make sure that we get reimbursed. I believe that's close to $90,000. So we should be getting that also back into the budget.
Man, this is a lot, like, there's so many different things that require the city, one, to utilize the grant, two, to report back to the grant people that we're utilizing it in the best way possible. And I know it takes a lot of man hours just to keep track of things. And I'm saddened that we don't have a grants administrator still at the city that will help you with this. So all I can tell you, Chief, is thank you so much. Thank you, Sally, for all the help that you're lending to him on this situation. Thank you for writing the grant that you were able to secure the $106,000 yesterday under the wire by the skin of our teeth. Always, it seems like, but you know, these are all very important grants. The one for maintaining and recruitment of law enforcement is so important, man. And also, you did mention to me that New Mexico DOT Safer Grants, those are something that we should be utilizing in our community as much as possible. So thank you, Chief. Thank your staff for the detective work they're doing with the drug busts that they've had. You've had 3 major in 3 months, back to back to back. Looking forward to the 4th. I'm saddened by a lot of the things that I'm looking here. Just the different things, larceny, 26 of them, sexual penetration, there was one that just makes my blood boil. Other things, DUI, I wish there were more DUIs. I know that there are probably people that do drive drunk in our community that are not getting caught, and I wish everybody would get caught. So, like I said, I just appreciate the fact that you guys are working hard, trying to keep our community safer. Your detectives are doing incredible work. I know they have a lot still left to do, and they're constantly receiving information on how they can provide the next bus for this community. But every time you pull fentanyl pills off of the streets, especially 5,000 at a time, that's a major dent in the amount of pills in this community. It's almost scary to me that somebody would have that many pills. So thank you guys for everything you're doing. Animal control. I agree with Ms. Bethany that it's something that we need to look at, the possibility of hiring a part-time animal control officer for Saturday and Sundays, even if it's only 4 hours each day, which would be 8 hours a week, which would be 30-some in a month. I think that's pretty doable. And I think that if the guy that we have right now would be the trainer for the officer that comes in, it would be a really good thing. We didn't write that into the budget in the beginning because of the constraints that we have with not knowing what's going on with the reconciliations, but at the quarter or at the half of the budget, it's something that definitely want to look at. Okay? Anything else that you need from us?
I do need to talk to you about our federal grants.
Okay.
And unfortunately, not a lot of good news. All 3 of them are currently in a suspended status because of reporting. I have been in contact. I actually now have a password. There's nothing easy with the federal government. So the 2 COP grants that we have active have been suspended, and then the one grant that I received from the rural violence, the one for the initial cameras, and I was wondering what the status was. That's also been suspended. So it looks like I will be able to take care of, before the end of the week, the one for $146,000. Again, we have the quotes, we have the PRs, it's just that we haven't had access to the money. So that one.
That one that you're talking about being able to take care of, that's the camera grant?
Yes, ma'am. That's the one for the flock system that we currently had. So we have quotes from 2 different companies. I'm just now trying to get access to make sure that they can talk to me about it.
So I want to communicate with you 2 things. I sat in the Public Works meeting yesterday, and we had 2 guests. I think it was 1544 McCurdy, but I'll send you a call with the correct address tomorrow. Anyway, her concern and her daughter's concern was the speeding that is happening on McCurdy, on North McCurdy, and they just talked about having a car flip right in front of their house and how dangerous it is for them to be driving there in their 90s, and they come out of there and they're fearful for their life that somebody's going to take them out there. The other thing that was mentioned by the mayor, because he sat in on the meeting, he talked about, it was 1504 North McCurdy, and they're the Lopez's, okay? And they would welcome you putting the speed control. So I don't know how many signs we have with the speed limit or not, or possibly putting an officer out there once in a while and writing some tickets. Maybe that'll slow people down, al fin. The mayor did talk about the possibility of doing some research on a company that goes ahead and cites people with like the machine that we have, but it actually does the citation. He wasn't sure who was looking into that, if it was you or whatever, but out of the situation, I feel like it's very important. East Pueblo is having a problem with speeders racing in that little area right there. So East Pueblo is having an issue, North McCurdy and South McCurdy. I know South McCurdy belongs to the state, but in North McCurdy, I feel like we could affect it. And I did give her my word. She was my teacher in elementary. She was my catechism teacher in middle school and elementary. So that's not somebody that I want to fail. Anything else to come before this body? Anybody else from the governing body have anything else for the chief?
I do.
Go ahead, Counselor.
So a couple of things, Chief. You mentioned something.
They were just called generalist detectives, and a lot of what they were doing had nothing to do with narcotics. So I don't know if you recall when we hired Lieutenant. So what he's done since he's come in is the focus of half of the unit, which now I had 3, but due to the changes, to be honest with you, just trying to hit narcotics as much as we can. And when we've been pretty successful, one search warrant resulted in the seizure of 18,700 pills. So our focus now in our city, like we had talked about, is narcotics, especially now with the opioid settlement. We're trying to work with our community, and we're right now in the middle of an initiative, a poster board initiative, that we're trying to not only deal with suppression, but again, the narcotic detectives are involved, but we're working with resources. So that's been our focus for about the last 6 months, to take as many drugs off the street as we can that assists our narcotic unit. I would like for the K-9 unit one day to just be specifically assigned, but it's doing great the way it is now. So our focus is now more on narcotics.
Okay, great. And then Chief, can you tell us once and for all how many certified officers you do have? Because, there's just so many rumors out there, and I'm being told that even transport guys are patrolling, so it looks like there's more officers.
No, ma'am, I can tell you right now, I'll count them. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 16. Where's my 17? I know this is an old. Last time we counted, I had 18 certified and like 6 or 7 uncertified.
Okay, thanks. I just wanted to hear it from you because that's definitely not what we're hearing.
No, ma'am.
Thank you.
For our department, that's the number that we have, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Chief.
And we do have openings for certified across the board all the time, correct?
We actually have 2 that are looking at starting with our department. So we have 2 certified that are looking to come over, and I have 3 uncertified that we're trying to bring over too.
And the 6 of the 7 uncertified will be going to training when?
We had in 2, I found out just late last night, we had 2 at the academy. One of them, unfortunately, suffered a hernia, which was pretty significant. So he'll be back to us within the next month, and he will still be able to go in January. So for January, we're hoping to have our 2 female officers, our cadet, to have the officer that was recycled from this one, and then we have 1 cadet who it looks like he is going to tear through the academy. So I'm hoping to have no less than 4 come January attend the academy.
So by next June, we should have at least 4 to 5 more certified officers.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
With all things working, plus, like I said, hopefully bringing these other 2.
And once they're certified, do they have to stay with the city of Espanola for any given time?
Unfortunately not, ma'am, and that's been
Okay,
an
so
issue.
we need to work on that policy, where if they leave us before 2 years, 4 years, 5 years, they have to reimburse part of their training back.
And that's something that we've talked about, and I'd like to revisit that issue.
Yeah, it's definitely something we need to do, because we're investing a lot of money, time, and energy to get these people a career. And it's only fair to the constituents that invest in that money that they have their service for a certain amount of time at least. So I need you to look into what the legalities are with that situation and see if we can provide something for the city to protect us. Anything else, Chief, or Councilor Didi or Councilor Dennis Salazar? Or are you done? Were you done, Councilor Denise?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Councilor Didi, Councilor Dennis?
I have nothing at this time.
Thank you. Councilor Dennis, Tim Salazar?
I don't have anything either. Thank you.
You're awesome. Thank you guys so much. I think we're done. I want to apologize for the way that the agenda was printed. I did my best. Victoria was not at the office on Friday, and the agenda goes out by Friday at 5 o'clock, so we sort of had to wing it. You guys all know that this meeting is never getting canceled. Let me say that again. This meeting is never getting canceled. We're always going to have this meeting because it's important to the city. And I apologize for the way that the agenda looked, but we got through it. We got it advertised, and we're here, and we got the job done. Thank you all for attending. Thank the staff. Thank the counselors. You guys are all amazing. We're out of here at 7:30. That was my goal, so good. We did a good job tonight, guys. See you soon. The next meeting will be on September 6th. September 6th. Mark that in your calendar, 6 p.m. Thanks again, all. Good night.
Well, I think we're done anyway, right?
Yeah. I think we were. I don't hear anything else.
Recording stopped.
Me either. I guess we could get off. So.
I think
Okay.
so. Okay.
Recording stopped. Okay. Good night, guys.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye.
We'll see you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.